Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing the requested video where I choose fragrances in my collection that I think characters from Harry Potter would wear, fictional characters would wear. I am wearing my Gryffindor robes, and if you ask, yes, I was actually sorted into Gryffindor. In any case, you guys asked for this video, and you've asked me to do fictional character videos too, so I figured it would be really fun. I'm going to do Harry Potter, so I'm going to do Ron, Hermione, Harry, Dumbledore, Hagrid, Luna, Snape, and Malfoy. So, if you want to know, I think did I say Hagrid? I'm also doing Hagrid. Not actually, choosing a fragrance for Hagrid. So, if you guys want to know what fragrances from my collection that I think these guys would wear, then keep watching. Robes. I've had these robes for years, and if you ask, yes, I do wander around the house wearing them sometimes. I'm silly. Okay, I have the list of them here because, okay, I'm not going to go into the notes too much, but I'm going to kind of give you an idea why I chose what I did. Now, do remember, these are chosen from my collection, but as I do more of these fictional character fragrance choices in the future, I'll probably start choosing fragrances that are not in my collection, but I'll try to keep it as close to my collection as possible. And do understand my collection is constantly growing, so you're not going to see the same fragrances over and over and over. Depends on the person and the character, and if I think the fragrances are a good fit. If there's not a good fit, then maybe I'll choose one from my samples or not in my collection. But anyway, let's go. Okay, I have my list. Let's not start off with the main three. Let's do them at the end. Let's start off with, the thing's blowing up everywhere because there's air conditioning. Sorry. Not start off with the main three. We'll do them last. Let's start off with Hagrid. Okay, Hagrid's is, okay, I tried to think of, I wanted to do this not what the characters themselves would choose to wear, but what fragrances that you might think would best be associated with them. Because let's be honest, Hagrid's not going to go to a perfume counter and choose a fragrance. I mean, he might in special circumstances if he's trying to impress a specific lady friend of his. But generally, he's outside in his hut with Fang in the forest, with illegal animals that he smuggles into a school for children, but whatever. I'm not gonna get into that. I love Hagrid. But when I think about him, I think, like, he's outside, there's a campfire, it's woody, it's like, there's like nothing really feminine about him. He's like a gentle giant, or like a gentle half giant, but at the same time, there's like a touch of softness with him. He's a big old softie. And so I tried to think of a fragrance that to me was like woody and kind of like outdoor-esque, but there was just a simple softness to it that most people don't see unless they know it's there. And that to me is Hagrid. And that would be Mason Francis Kirk John Oud Cashmere Mood. Now, when I wear this, I mostly get campfire and wood and smoky, and it's really, really nice. But there is a touch of vanilla in there, which softens it up just a little bit. And I think if Hagrid were to be scented or fragranced, like any fragrance in my collection, I think this would be it. Because this is pure outdoors, this is pure just smoky, woody goodness. There's not much of any femininity in this fragrance at all, but there is a little bit of a softness to it, which I think would fit Hagrid perfectly. Next up is Snape. Professor Snape. What fragrance in my collection? This one was actually kind of easy. I thought about Snape, and I tried to think about them if they were muggles, like what would they wear if they were muggles? Because I think Snape would be the type of person to go to a fragrance counter, but he'd probably be really pompous and arrogant about it. If you can't tell by the cap, it's Serge Lutens, and it's a Serge Noir. I think this one would be Snape. This just smells like arrogance and being very pompous by still having a good heart and harboring a hidden secret and a hidden love. That's not so hidden from some people, but hidden from a lot of people, I think. Still a little bit sexy, too. Come on, Snape. I think this would be perfect for Snape. If you've never smelled or experienced this fragrance, or if you have this fragrance in your collection, I want you to go and I want you to wear this or spritz it on something and think of Snape, and you'll see what I mean, because this was the first thing that popped into my head, and I tried, like, there's other fragrances I was kind of thinking about, and I just kept going back to this one. So I'm pretty sure this is what Snape would smell like, which is Serge Noir from Serge Lutens. Next up was another easy one, guys, and this is Dumbledore. What do I think Dumbledore would smell like? Well, this was another one kind of like Snape, where I initially was like, I think that's it. Right off the bat, I tried thinking of some other ones. I smelled them and I thought about them and I'm like, you know what, this is it. And unfortunately, this is a discontinued fragrance, so it's a little bit hard to track down, but if you can get your hands on it, it is well worth it. And it is Tom Ford Arabian Wood. Now, if you've ever heard me talk about this fragrance, this has made it to a few of my lists. This is a beautifully enchanting fragrance. This smells like an enchanted forest. It smells like, to me, this is what it smells like, magic. It's also very distinguished, incredibly unisex, and there's just something mystical about this fragrance. I love it. And I'm not just using mystical and magical and enchanted for the Harry Potter description. If you watch any of my videos where I talk about this fragrance, this smells like an enchanted forest to me. I love this fragrance so much. So this is definitely what I think Dumbledore would smell like, because I think he would have the air of mystery and a little bit distinguished and sophisticated, not pompous, but very knowledgeable and wise, but he would definitely smell like magic. This is what I think he'd smell like. Okay, next up is Draco Malfoy. This one is a sample, but I'm actually going to be purchasing it very soon, probably in the next few weeks. So I don't have a bottle of it yet, but I am purchasing it because it is beautiful. And it is Aqua de Parme, the Blue Mediterraneo, Ginepro di Sardegna, translates to Juniper of Sardinia. This guy right here, this little guy, so good. I'm very sparing with the sample because a little goes a long way, but I love the whole line of these guys from Aqua de Parma. But the Juniper one, there's just something really arrogant about it. Beautiful. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful fragrance, but we're not getting into the fragrance. We're getting into why I chose this for Draco Malfoy. Now, the reason why I think I like this is because this, to me, smells filled with confidence, a little bit arrogant, smells very high class, and very in your face high class. This is a gorgeous, expensive smelling fragrance, you know? So I'm just trying to use the definitions to fit with Draco. I'm not at all knocking on this fragrance. I'll probably do a more thorough review of this once I purchase a bottle. If you guys want to see that, let me know below. But this just to me smells like what a young teenage rich boy would wear, especially when he's trying to tell everybody around him that they're beneath him. That's what this smells like to me. And sometimes I want to smell like Draco Malfoy. But this is just, I think this is it. The juniper in here makes this a little bit soft. It's, you know, Draco Malfoy's squishy center. You know, he's not all hard. Behind the hair gel, behind being forced to be a Death Eater, behind almost... If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Harry Potter, these things have been out for over 10 years. You should know. No spoilers. You should know this by now. But I feel like he was given a bad lot in life. He thought he'd hit the jackpot with his pure blood, expensive family, a rich family, and then he realized everyone around him is just a bunch of jerks. And he's like, I'm not that much of a jerk. I'm still a jerk. Not that much of a jerk. I just wanted to be a rich know-it-all kid. Just, you know, I just wanted to be better than everybody else. I didn't want this war. I think that's him. That's what this smells like. Yep. One more before we get into the final three, and this is Luna Lovegood. She is one of, and my husband's, personal favorites. We love Luna. She's so great. We love Luna. She is our favorite character aside from Harry, because I love Harry. I love Snape and Dumbledore. But there is just something fun and smart about Luna Lovegood. She is just quirky. I mean, my personality-wise, if I was any character, and I'm not just saying this, like, I am like Luna when it comes down to just being really eccentric and off the wall, but still being grounded, because you do understand everything that she freaked out about was still very grounded in reality. Her reality was just different from everybody else's. So with Luna, I've picked something that I thought was whimsical, a little bit magical, very sweet, but also enchanting and feminine. Because although I don't find Luna to be like a feminine character, she is very much, to me, a woman and a girl, and that is never like, you know, like with Hermione or even with Ginny, and sometimes like they come across as like tomboyish or androgynous in some cases, not all the time. Luna was always very off in her own whimsical little world, which I thought to be very sweet. And she's also, you know, she's unafraid, she's unassuming. You don't take her seriously until you realize she was right about everything, and then you're just kind of like, oh, okay, sure. So I chose a Lollia fragrance for her. I chose Inspire. I think this one is just really sweet and beautiful, and you don't quite get it, but once you get it, you're like, oh. I find that Lollia fragrances are ultra feminine, like just beyond feminine, like ultra feminine. They're like tea parties and frilly dresses and just like pink stuffed animals everywhere, and there's something really charming about that. And I think that's kind of why I chose that for Luna, is because Luna is very charming. I love this, and I love her. So I think this is what she'd smell like. It's very pretty, it's very feminine, but it's quirky. It's like a quirky, because it's ultra feminine, you can't quite wrap your head around what their fragrance is, other than it just smells really nice, and it's really fun and unique and a little quirky. So I think Luna would smell like this. Okay, now we're on to Ron, Hermione, or Hermione. I always say Hermione, but Hermione and Harry. I'm going to do, I was trying to think if I should do Harry first or last. I'm going to do Ron first. Ron, I think, would smell like a boy. I think he wouldn't want to smell like anything other than a man. You know, like I don't see him as being, he's not very suave, he's very adventurous, he gets really rugged, he has a soft heart, but he is very fiercely loyal, especially to the people that he is closest to. He's willing to give up everything for them and his cause, although he does so begrudgingly, because he is very loyal to everybody that he cares about. Now, I was trying to figure out the best fragrance, and I think that this would be it, because I wanted to choose, again, fragrances that were also a little bit magical, a little bit smelling not quite like your run-of-the-mill fragrance. The only one that I think smells kind of like your run-of-the-mill fragrance is actually Harry's, and I will get into that when I talk to you about it. But this is from like Cinis Labs, and it's actually Forgive Not Forget. And the reason why I chose this is one of those just rugged fragrances that's sexy, because you know what, can be sexy. It's sexy, it's rugged, it's outdoorsy, and it's not, I don't want to say it's not an expensive fragrance, because this is a very nice quality fragrance. This doesn't smell kind of like how Draco Malfoy smells like I'm a rich boy and I'm going to rub my wealth in your face in any way possible, including my fragrance. This smells like something Ron would find in Diagon Alley and would be like, yeah, that smells amazing! You know, this is what it reminds me of. It reminds me of like how Ron would want to be Ron. He wants to be head boy. He wants to be, you know, win the Quidditch Cup and the House Cup. And he just wants to be all these things. And it's strong and it's masculine, but it's still a little soft and sweet. I think this would be Ron. Hermione and Harry were the hardest ones for me to choose. Mostly because I really wanted to pay close attention to the final three, the top three, you know, Ron, the three, you know, the main three. Ron, Hermione, and Harry. And I think Ron was a little bit easier because I kind of went at him as kind of like a child, like what would, you know, what would he want to smell like, his values and who he is to the core. And I'm talking really weird. My coffee maker hasn't been working and I was up late, so you'll have to excuse me. Hermione, to me, I did not want to be cliche. I could pick Library of Flowers or the fragrance from Demeter that smells like book pages. But I actually wanted to come at this a little bit differently than just what you guys think I would actually choose for her. And I wanted to think about how she might smell as a person. She is, you know, she's from Muggle parents, she's the brightest witch of her age, she's smart, she's intelligent, she's adventurous, she's loyal, she's convicted, she has conviction, you know, she's brave, but she's still very feminine and very soft, but also a little bit tomboyish. Like, she is just this wonderful mix of just everything. Like, she's practically perfection. She's a little bit stuck up in her snobbery of being really, really smart, as being, you know, as an insufferable know-it-all. But to her core, Hermione is the best. And she has, I don't know, she just, her intelligence, to me, she would smell unisex. I don't see her as being overtly whimsically soft and feminine in a fragrance like Luna. I don't think she would be that. I think you would see her, you would experience her fragrance, and you wouldn't be, it would be an unassuming fragrance, but it would still be something that smelled uniquely her. And I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I came to the conclusion that I really think it would be Armani Prive Vetiver Babylone. If you haven't smelled this, this is beautiful. This is caraway, pink pepper, not caraway, cardamom. Cardamom, pink pepper, bergamot, mandarin, patchouli, and vetiver. And this just is one of those fragrances I think smell like something an intelligent scholar would wear. It's a very beautiful fragrance. It's going to energize, it's going to not get in the way of study, so it's not going to be so thick where it's going to, she's going to just constantly be choking on her fragrance, but it's going to smell very nice and clean and just really bright as well. And I think that this would be what Hermione smells like. I did almost choose Wildflower and Fern from Library of Flowers, not because library, but because I thought that would be another fragrance that would really do Hermione justice. But I kept coming back to this one. I really think this would be it. So yeah, Vetiver Babylone from Armani Prive. Hey, it's time for Harry. Harry Potter. What do I think he would smell like, specifically out of my collection? And I went about Harry first and foremost when he didn't know he was magic. He lived in a cupboard. He was abused by his family. His life was bleak. You know, he was angry at the world, and rightfully so, because he lived with a bunch of jerks. And then his life changes, and he goes to this magical school, and although in the beginning it seems like his life is going to be amazing, his life then, like, gets turned upside down every which way. So Harry, to me, is a very strong character, and Harry also, kind of like Draco, is a little bit arrogant. He can be a little bit arrogant. He's also a bit of a jock. If you think about it, take the magic away from it. Take it. Take Hogwarts out of it. You go to school, and here's the kid that's the star of the team. All the girls want him. He's so popular. Your parents know who he is. Your grandparents know who he is. Everyone's been waiting. You know, like, he is the star of the school. And then you realize that he's getting into some trouble, but then you realize the trouble he's getting into is to save all of your lives, and you're just like, oh, like, he is just everything. But then there's also the bit of darkness in him and sadness and the brooding, which kind of makes him a little bit more mysterious. But to his core, he is a good kid who's been thrust in one of the hardest situations ever, but he is a bit of a jock. He does have his inner demons. And what do I think that would smell like? Let's translate that to a fragrance. Okay, I could have gone, again, like Hermione, really cliche, and chosen something that I think, like a heroic fragrance. But I don't think Harry ever thought of himself as heroic. I think Harry would have loved life if he could have just gone to Hogwarts, played Quidditch, and graduated and become an Auror. I think he would have just been, that would have been it. He would have been excited. I think all the tragedy and the darkness that surrounded him, I think that he didn't want anything to do with that, but he totally jumped. I'm getting like texts, which is why he took his responsibilities being the chosen one and performed the way that he should have, which is, you know, being selfless at the end once it was very, very hard. So I think Harry would smell kind of unisex. Again, I don't think he would smell very masculine. I don't think he would smell generic. But I don't think he would smell in a way that would be off-putting or unique. I think he just wants to be a normal kid in Hogwarts, like a normal magic boy, you know, his Quidditch, his studies, his friends, getting some butterbeer, you know, sending letters to his through his owl, you know, like, what do I think he'd smell like? I had to choose from my collection, and this was hard, because I don't think I had the most appropriate fragrance for Harry, but if I were to choose any from my collection, I think it would be Aqua Universalis Forte from Mason Francis Kirkjohn. This is aquatic, it's citrus, it's bright, it's a unisex fragrance, and I feel like it's very clean, and it would go very well with his studies, with his sports, with his friends. It would work very well with Hermione's fragrance, and it would clash a little bit with Ron's, but I think that's kind of like how it would go as well. And I just think that Harry would kind of smell like this. Like, because the thing is he is like a jock, and he is a kid, and he probably would want to smell nice for the ladies, you know? He doesn't want to scare away the girls. He probably wants to smell, hey ladies, while still not being too, he wouldn't put too much thought into it, I don't think. I think someone would buy this for him because they think this is what he would like. So, this is what I think Harry would smell like. I would love to know what you guys think that these characters would wear. So, let me know below. Anyway, if you guys would like more videos like this, a little bit more fun, thought out adventurous videos, specifically if you would like more fictional character fragrance videos, or if you like my fragrance videos in general, remember to give this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue doing videos like this. If you guys would like more fictional character videos and you have recommendations for characters that you'd like to know what I think, let me know below, and again, let me know what you think these guys would wear. As always, don't forget to subscribe, guys. I put out new content every Monday through Friday, and sometimes on the weekends as well, so I'll always have something for you to watch. In any case, I hope you guys are all happy and healthy and have a great day, month, year, whatever, and I'll see you next time.